Yeah, 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 yeah. All right, we are live on YouTube. How's everybody doing today? How's it going? I'm back at Bear Island, and it's about 82 degrees, but it feels like it's 90 or 95 or something like that because it's very humid. It's been very humid out here lately in the San Francisco Bay Area, but regardless, I'm out and about on another walk with purpose, episode number 791. Today we're going to be talking about, how the internet has, practically, removed us from reality. It's just amazing how the internet has changed our lives in many great ways, but also in many ways that aren't so great. Anyway, we're going to wait a little bit for some people to pop on in before we get into it. I feel the nice breeze now as I come along the water here. I don't think anyone was expecting me to go live during this time. I've been doing my walks later in the evening, but I prefer to do them around this time. It's shortly after 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific in my neck of the woods in the San Francisco Bay Area. I'm going to wait for this lady to pass on by. Let me show you folks the beautiful water. Anyway, today Dawn has a doctor's appointment at 6:05 p.m. So there's going to be no time to walk afterwards. So, we plan for this day to go this way. Dawn's at home right now on her weekly therapy call with her amazing therapist. And I've been not as focused on YouTube lately and my business. I mean, I am still focused, don't get me wrong. We are still moving things forward like we've been talking about. But I have to say, over the last week, I've more so prioritized cleaning up my place, the place Dawn and I live at. We've been doing a lot of deep cleaning, throwing out things we don't need, boxes and stuff like that. Still organizing stuff from when Dawn moved in about a year and a half ago. Her and I have a lot of stuff. And we were just so busy with doctor's appointments and many other things. And we would clean regularly, but we have been doing some super duper deep cleaning, and I've been even staying up late at night once Dawn goes to bed to get more of it done because I just want to beautify our place as much as possible. And then, then I can relax. I'm the kind of guy where it's hard for me to relax when there's any task left on the table. I'm restless until everything gets done. And I think a lot of men are like that, And maybe some women are too, but I think a lot of men, when they have a lot that they need to accomplish, Us men we don't feel like sleeping until everything is done. And that's because most normal men can turn off the emotions that women can't turn off because that's part of their natural biology. We can turn off the emotions and just, power through to get things done that we need to get done. Hey, Alex, the Beer Master. Good afternoon, Eli. Hope you're doing well. Cheers, my friend. Hey, brother, how you doing? Yeah, I'm sorry I haven't been able to pop on your channel yet. I've been meaning to, Alex. I've just been doing a lot of deep cleaning with my girlfriend, Dawn, and she's had doctor's appointments, and I haven't even been creating as much content as I normally do. And again, speaking to that, I've got to tell you, Alex says, I'm doing excellent, Eli. I'm doing excellent. Well, thank you, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Oh. Well, let me say this, and then we'll get into the intro. I've taken like 3 days off this week. This past week, right? That just ended. Monday is today, the start of the new week. I took off 3 days last week because I was tired and I needed to focus my energy, all my energy, on Dawn and cleaning. And I'll tell you, I love YouTube. I love creating content. I love running my business to GNA. But at the same time, getting away from it for a little while is refreshing, especially because there's so much drama out here on YouTube. Speaking of which, it's like Don and I have been on a complete drama detox. We have not, it's funny, like we've been mentioning for the last several weeks, we blocked everyone. All the trolls and haters, everyone has been blocked on all of our accounts, Don's accounts and mine. We haven't only, let me say it again. We not only have you hidden from our channels, we've actually Google blocked all of you to the point of where we can't see your tags and stuff. We don't get recommended anything of yours in our feeds, and we don't see anything that any of the haters put out there. And I'll tell you, it's so fucking refreshing. It's an amazing feeling to just not see any of that shit. Now, I know I know where to find it if I want to manually search. And same with Dawn, if her and I want to manually search and see what haters are saying, we can, but we don't do that. We don't feel the need to do that. And us not getting recommended stuff, we don't see it. And us not being able to get tags from these people, it's amazing, right? And if they create new stock accounts, we just keep blocking them, right? It's such a refreshing feeling, right? And I'll tell you, when you take a little break and focus on other things you need to get done, take a little break from YouTube and focus on other things you need to get done, you come back refreshed like I am today. And I feel good. I feel great. And I've got a great surprise for you folks coming up very soon right here on GNA2 Live Personal Development. A genuine live personal development, that is. This is GNA2. Genuine live personal development. The main channel is GNA, Genuine Personal Development. There's something incredible coming very soon right here to GNA2. So stick around, make sure you're subscribed, and then you bang the bell and make sure you select all notifications. Alex the Beer Master, hey Eli, don't know, no worries. Whenever you get a chance to come on my channel, then it don't happen, my friend. Cheers. Yeah, no, it'll happen, dude. I'm sorry about that. My apologies, Alex the Beer Master. It will happen, man. It will. Um, there's a woman I've wanted to interview. She's available on Mondays primarily, and I wanted to get her interviewed today, but that's not going to happen until next week. I haven't even had the time or energy to email her, but now I'm getting my energy back, and I've been resting as well as working on other things. And we're going to make it happen, bro. We are. But before we get to the topic here today, episode 791 of Walking with Purpose Live from the SF Bay Trail here at Bear Island in Redwood City, California. If this is your first time here, or if this is the first time that you and I are meeting, please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Elias Melas, but you can call me Eli for short, and I am the president and founder of the Genuine Networking Association, or GNA for short. Somebody's coming up and pull off to the side for a second. And what the GNA does, GNA short for Genuine Networking Association. Awesome, Eli, says Alex the Beer Master. Thank you, Alex. Thank you for continuing to be a wonderful moderator for, close to over 4 years now. Maybe close to 5 years. Thank you for your service, man. Appreciate it. What we do here primarily is teach personal development, also known as personal improvement, right? Or self-help. We teach self-help, personal development, personal improvement, right? And in order to do that, someone needs to be open to self-improvement, right? If you're somebody that's struggling, just to function daily, you're going to need more help than I can give you here, or my girlfriend Donna and I can give you here, right? But if you're trying to accomplish things and you're struggling, you're a little bit shy, a little bit timid, maybe a little bit scared to take a risk and stuff like that, we can help you overcome that hump. We can help you through positive reinforcement, motivation, inspiration, and also through emotional support at times. People that follow us here, we give them emotional support. What we primarily do here at the GNA is help people better their lives, personally and professionally. That's what we do primarily. We're also a networking organization for entrepreneurs where we exchange leads and referrals. After we get to know, like, and trust each other, we have Facebook group pages, LinkedIn group pages. Those will soon be more so available to people out here on YouTube. I've been running the GNA since 2011, and those groups have been limited to people that I've met in person here in Northern California when we used to run in-person events. But we're going to soon open up those group pages to trusted people on YouTube. Those pages are highly moderated, and they have no trolls and haters. And if anyone slips through the cracks, we just ban them immediately. So that's what we do. And I'm all about helping people in any way possible. My goal is to help people either for free or as cheaply as possible at a low cost. And the way that we do that is a lot of the stuff we do here is for free. Then if you feel you get value regarding our free information and ways that we help, you have the option to donate via super chat or super sticker while we're here live. Super thanks on the pre-recorded videos and live stream replays. We also have a Cash App and PayPal. Nightbot is sharing those links here in the chat every 7 minutes. You can also go to the About section on either one of the channels here, GNA and GNA2. PayPal.me/eliasmelas or $eliasmelas on Cash App. And as always, donations are greatly appreciated, but they are not required. But that's why we're able to do what we do. Plus, the more views we get on videos, we get, ad revenue. The more we grow, this will become more ad supported. So, I'm not the kind of person that likes to gouge people. I like to help people from the kindness of my heart. I still need to pay my bills, and because this is what I want to do for the rest of my life along with my girlfriend Dawn, we need to fund it somehow. We need to pay our bills somehow. And we're doing that in ways that we can provide what we do to everyone at little to no cost. That's always been my mission and purpose and vision of the GNA. To help people better their lives personally and professionally, give them the support that they need, that they're not getting anywhere else, the genuine support that they're not getting from anywhere else. A lot of other people will pretend to support you to try to, suck out your money, suck up your pocketbook. We don't do that here. We just give, and give, and if you feel you're getting value and you want to monetarily support us, that's up to you. I'm only going to be doing 3 miles today. I'm not going to do the full trail. I'm going to go down to the part right before you turn right to go to the observation deck. It's because I'm limited on time. I need to go back home, and Dawn and I are going to get ready for her doctor's appointment. So let's get right to it. Let's talk about, the internet and how the internet, is ruining us. How the internet has ruined our in-person connections, right? How it affects us. Because it does. I first found out about the internet. It was a little over 30 years ago. And let's see. I'm trying to remember here. Yeah, I think it was in my late teens or early 20s. My dad used to be a car salesman during that time. God rest his soul. My dad passed away 14 years ago. And here in the San Francisco Bay Area, which is dubbed Silicon Valley, because this is where the silicone chips were created, that give me a second here. I thought I saw something. This is where the silicone processors, were created. That process that, what our computers do. Without a processor to compute everything, the computer would not work. So my dad used to sell cars to everyone. Adobe executives, employees. Atari started in Sunnyvale, California, which is down south that way, about 20 minutes south of here off of Highway 101. Highway 101 here, going south. My dad also sold cars to IBM. IBM was the creator of the PC. So they're the original PC. Everything else that we use today is an IBM compatible PC. We just call it PC. But IBM created that. And my dad, in my late teens, early 20s, was given a free high-end for the time, that is, high-end color computer. And that computer was running, oh God, it wasn't one of the first computers, but it was one of the first decent ones you can get for the times. It was running Windows 3.0, if I remember correctly. And it had pre-installed, remember AOL, folks, America Online, and then there was Prodigy. I actually subscribed to Prodigy back then. And I would dial in through a dial-up modem, 2400 baud. It was slow as hell. I mean, it's slow as hell today, but back then, that's what we had. That's what it was all about, right? A second here. Anytime, my friend, anytime, says Alex. Thank you, Alex. So, using that computer, I was able to get online, and my friends and I, we used to do fantasy sports, fantasy baseball, fantasy football, and we would wait for the newspaper to come out the next day to check the stats. But I was one of the first ones that had a computer because my dad was given a free computer. And he didn't open it. He just put it in the garage unopened. And one day I just said, screw it. I'm going to go to the garage and unpack that computer and put it to use. What the hell are you going to do with a nice free computer if you don't use it? Like, you know? And my dad got a little upset that I opened it. But then I showed him. He goes, oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty good. Oh, so you get all the news there too. This is what's been coming, son. The internet. I remember that. A little over 30 years ago. And I've always been the kind of... I was always fascinated by technology. As a little kid, I grew up with technology. I was always fascinated, on how things actually worked. How does the radio work? You have speakers, you have a transistor, right? You have an antenna, you have wires that you connect to the speaker, right? I was just fascinated with how technology worked, or how anything mechanically worked, right? I remember growing up, I've shared this story a long time ago, but it's been a while. I remember when I was, I was really young. I think I was like 6 or 7 years old, maybe 8. And sometimes when my dad, he was selling cars back then, like I said earlier, he sold cars for a little over 20 years. Sometimes when customers would trade in a car, they would also just, they had like a portable black and white TV back then, which was the size of a briefcase before technology was, more streamlined and more portable, right? Transistors became smaller, processors became smaller, but initially everything was bigger, right? So my dad brought home that one of his customers gave him, for a trade-in. Gave him a good deal on a newer car, gave him a good trade-in value. The customer thanked them also by giving him his older portable black and white TV. It had like a, you know, 3 or 4 inch screen, probably about the size of our smartphones today, but it was square because, things were 4:3 ratio back then, the square TV. Now we've got widescreen HD TV, right? And same with our phones, right? But my dad brought home that TV, and it took like 6 or 8 D batteries, which we hardly use D batteries nowadays. They're the bigger batteries. And I remember I was tinkering with the TV, and I love watching that TV. I'd go outside. I'd have batteries in it. If the batteries would die, I would tell my mom to give me more D batteries, and she would. All of a sudden, one day the TV stopped working, and I was pissed off. I was really pissed. And, I had all these tools that my dad had laying around, right? Plus, at that time we lived right next door to my grandma and grandpa's house, my dad's parents. That's how the Greeks do it. They buy a block of homes and they live next to each other. That's a Greek tradition. And I was so pissed off the TV stopped working. I took the hammer and put it right through the damn screen. Bam, bam! I was beating the shit out of this TV, right? And my mom comes out. Elias, what are you doing? It doesn't work. You broke the TV. Well, it stopped working. I remember that shit like it happened yesterday, right? But the whole point here is that I've always been fascinated by technology. And I've loved technology. I love the technical advancements we have nowadays, online bill pay, going online, which now we do on our smartphones. We have apps and stuff. But even before smartphones came out, you were able to order stuff online from Amazon or from restaurants. You could do takeout. Now you do it from your phone. It's even more convenient. But your phone is basically just, a derivative of the actual internet. That's all it is. And the applications on your phone were made to work with your phone's operating system. It's all internet based. Same thing, right? Same concept, right? So a lot of things that we have nowadays on the internet are great. They've helped us a lot. They're positive changes. One of the best things, in my opinion, is going digital saves lots of trees. That's a phenomenal thing. I firmly believe in that. Not only does it save a lot of trees, it saves a lot of time. You can pay your bill on the due date, and it'll still count as being paid on time, even though when you link your checking account to it, it may take a day or two to come out of your checking account, but as long as you make your payment before the end of day of the due date online, you get your payment to go through. Before that, before the internet, you had to mail out your payment. And you had to mail out your payment a week in advance to make sure it got there on time and it got processed on time, or you get a late fee. So that's a great convenience, right? So, between that, ordering food, and paying for it in advance online and ordering it, and then just going to the restaurant and picking up takeout. If you're going to get takeout, now if you're going to eat there, obviously you do it all at the restaurant. But these conveniences that I'm mentioning, fantastic, right? Wonderful. Online dating, great idea. But also, there are a lot of issues with online dating. I've talked about this many times over the years between both channels. And I'm not going to get too far into it, but a lot of people say online dating is horrible. Online dating, actually, to me, is probably the best way to meet people. As long as you know how to filter out people and how to properly vet people, right? Filter them out, properly vet them. As long as you know what you're doing, I think you have a better chance of finding someone more compatible on the internet than you do in the real world, because people can put on their profile what they're seeking and what they're not, right? And if you want to go a little bit outside of your normal radius, like I did when I met Dawn, because sometimes you're not going to find that special person in your backyard. Sometimes you may have to go 50, 75, 100 miles out. Dawn lived almost 75 miles away from me in Hollister, California. I would have never met Dawn had it not been for America Online, for Match.com. Had it not been for internet dating, online dating, and Match.com, or dating sites in general, I would have never met Dawn. That's a good thing. Now, there are bad aspects of online dating, but you're in control of that. You're in control of who you talk with, who you don't talk with. You're in control of who you meet and who you don't meet. You're in control of how much do you want to get to know someone through texting, emails, and then talking on the phone before you actually meet them in person. You're in full control. Some people will just say, hey, let's just meet and see where it goes. I don't want to talk on the phone or say too much. I would never have met someone like that. I like to properly vet someone before I get in my car and meet them, or before I would get in my car and meet them. Actually, I have a woman now, so I don't do that anymore. But some people will just say, hey, we're matched. Let's just meet and see where it goes. I had women that wanted to do that when I was single. I'm like, no, I want to talk by phone and get to know. I don't have time to talk by phone. I'm too busy. Well, then if you're too busy to not talk by phone, then you're too busy to date me. So, toodaloo, right? You're in control. So people that complain about the online dating world, people that are in full control, people are in full control of these dating apps and the dating world. Give me a second here. Give me a second here. I don't need to respond to that text message. I just had to make sure. Sorry about that, folks. All right, I'm going to turn around right here. We are at 33 minutes. All right, we're doing really good. We're doing really good on time today. I'm really happy. All right, let's start heading back. So again, with the online world, people that complain that online dating doesn't work, you're not putting enough effort into it. As with anything, if you put zero effort, you're going to get pretty much zero results. You might get lucky putting in little to no effort and find someone special, but more than likely you're not going to find someone special. You got to put in the time and effort and use the internet as a great tool to find someone compatible. And it's much easier to do that than in the real world. Now, nothing wrong with meeting people in the real world. Sometimes you get lucky in the real world. You meet someone at work, or you meet someone at church, or whatever. But even then, my suggestion is I wouldn't date someone from your church or your work. Because if it doesn't work out, then you're going to be the talk of your job and the talk of your church. And it's going to feel awkward going to church. I always tell people, try to separate business and personal, right? Now, unless you're doing what Don and I are doing, we're a couple, we're together, and we both love to help people with their personal development. But what I'm talking about, if you're working a day job, if you're an entrepreneur, there's nothing wrong with working with your significant other, right? But if you're working for somebody else or a part of an organization or part of a church or something like that, and you date someone from church, work, or one of your organizations, if it doesn't work out, it's going to feel awkward, right? That's why I think online dating is great, because it allows you to separate your business and personal aspects of your life, which is the way it should be done, unless, again, you find a good partner that has similar interests as you and you both want to start your own business together. But I would never suggest working with your partner in the corporate world. That can create problems. That's just my opinion. Take it for whatever it's worth. That's what's worked for me. Now, the other aspects of the internet, those are the good aspects, right? There are good aspects, right? But the aspects that have really kind of messed us up, in my opinion, it's the creator economy. And the creator economy, in my opinion, it's interesting. There's a lot of money to be made. It's one of the biggest things, biggest ways to grow a brand and get a business going. But what does it take to be successful on the internet, to be successful on YouTube, to be successful on TikTok or other platforms where technically the competition is insane? There's a lot of competition. I don't like to look at it as competition, because the only person I truly compete with is myself. But realistically, there's a lot of competition, right? And a lot of people are fighting for the same space and the same audience and views and stuff like that, right? And it's all for money, right? And because of that, and standing out is extremely important, people do crazy shit on the internet for attention that they would never ever do in the real world. Let me repeat that one more time. People on the internet that run an internet business, especially if it's YouTube, TikTok, or other video platforms, which is one of the best ways to get your message out, a lot of people end up doing the dumbest shit to get attention, because that makes them stand out in the crowd. And a lot of these people that do dumb stuff on the internet for attention, they do make a good amount of money. But is it sustainable long term? You know, I'll tell you, I want to give you a great example here. I don't know if you folks, most of you probably know who Mr. Beast is. He's one of the largest, he is the largest YouTuber out there. I think he has over 300 million subscribers now. And he's making lots of money. He's got the Mr. Beast brand, and he's got lots of sponsorships, lots of endorsements. And he does these crazy videos where he does large giveaways with lots of money, and he has lots of people in his videos and stuff, right? Every one of his videos typically costs, I believe, around $1 million to create. So how much money are they making? Well, if you're getting 10 to 50 to sometimes 100 million views per video, just think about how much ad revenue you're going to make. I'm just thinking, if you get 1 million views, how much ad revenue would you make? A million views probably make you around $100,000. 10 million views will make you $1 million, right? So it's probably about 10%, right? 100 million views will make you $10 million. So think about this. If you're investing $1 million per video and it gets that much traction to the point of where you're making 10 million, it's one hell of a payday, right? But what are you doing to make that money? Because lately, Mr. Beast has been getting scrutinized for lying in how he does his videos. And in many of his videos, there's somebody that was hired by Mr. Beast, I believe earlier this year. They got fired after a month, but was there long enough to really see how he operates, right? And this guy's been exposing Mr. Beast on his channel. And apparently maybe there's no non-disclosure agreement. So, I mean, if there was a non-disclosure agreement, I'm sure Jimmy, who's Mr. Beast, his name is Jimmy. I'm sure Jimmy, he has plenty of money to get attorneys and sue him to get him to stop. But even if they give him a cease and desist, right? And even if, Mr. Beast, Jimmy, ends up taking this guy to court, the court process is so long. In the meantime, this guy's going to run his mouth and tell us the truth about Jimmy, Mr. Beast, and how his business is run, right? I'm having a hard time seeing my screen here. Let me pull off this side here for a second. So, this guy, in the meantime, there's no word on him being sued or him being told to cease and desist. I'm sure Mr. Beast, Jimmy, has people sign non-disclosure agreements, but again, any contract, the only way to enforce it is to send a cease and desist and then sue the person, right? In the meantime, they can run their mouth all they want, right? See, I'm beginning to learn that getting restraining orders on people and sending them cease and desist to stop doing things that a non-disclosure is supposed to prevent them from putting out there. The bottom line is, by the time you're able to legally enforce your contract, the damage is already done. Because of the internet. On the internet, things happen so rapidly that it's honestly, I've learned it's not worth suing anyone. It's not worth going legal on anyone, because again, by the time you're able to legally enforce anything, people are going to be able to legally run their mouths in the meantime, and the damage is done, right? So all you can really do is ignore stupid shit. That's all I do. I ignore stupid shit, right? But this Mr. Beast situation is interesting because he's very successful and he's very trustworthy, and he caters his content primarily to kids. He has a huge following on the YouTube Kids app. I believe on the Kids app too, as well as the regular app, right? And he's exposed for basically hiring family members. I think he has a girlfriend and he hired his girlfriend Just a lot of fabricated stuff in Mr. Beast's videos, right? And to a certain extent, if you're entertaining people and you write a script, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're trying to come off as a genuine YouTuber and you're legitimately going out there and finding 20 or 30 people randomly to do these crazy things in your videos, and then it's found out that half those people are on your paid staff or family members or friends, I mean, come on, how's that going to look? Right? How's that going to come off? I'm not going to get too much further into the Mr. Beast thing. I'm just saying that there are a lot of people doing phony things, crazy phony things, that they normally would not do in the real world. They do it on YouTube, they do it on TikTok, they do it on social media because it allows them to stand out in the crowd. Because what do people pay attention to more? They pay attention to the bullshit more than the real good stuff, the real decent, wholesome stuff. People don't want wholesome stuff. People want the shit show, right? Or I wouldn't even go as far and say people want the shit show. People drop everything to tune into the shit show to find out what went wrong. Now, it's not. I'm not saying that they're not going to tune into a wholesome show, but they're not going to drop everything for a wholesome show. For a wholesome show, if they're available at that time, they'll pop on in. If not, they may pop in down the road or not. But when it comes to a shit show or something crazy going on, people will drop everything for it. Sorry about that, folks. Had to take care of something. This is what the internet has done. The internet has allowed people to be whoever they want to be, not necessarily themselves, right? Most people on the internet, most people on YouTube are doing things that they know they need to do to make money, right? But they're not necessarily being themselves or being true to themselves. They're not being authentic. Now, are they breaking the law? Are they doing illegal stuff? No. I wouldn't say most of the stuff people are doing, for the people that are not being themselves. I'm not saying most of what they're doing is illegal. It's not. But it's just not genuine. It's not authentic. It's not real. A lot of the stuff you're seeing is fake content. Interesting thing that I've seen lately over the last 5 to 10 years, maybe even 15 years. One of the most popular genres on TV, on mainstream media, is true crime. How many freaking true crime shows are there? You got ABC's 2020. You got the Discovery ID channel, Investigative Discovery, right? That has shows like Homicide Hunter, right? Wives with Knives, etc. Yada, yada, yada. You go on all these streaming services now, you're seeing nothing but true crime. Why is that? Because people will drop everything for the shit show, whether they like it or not. And most people don't like what's happening in these shows. But they'll drop everything to find out what happened. Like I could care less about Gypsy Rose Blanchard. But Don and I just watched the first season of Gypsy Rose Life After Lockup on Lifetime. We're sucked into the drama. And we don't want to be, but we are. That's a different type of drama than the YouTube stuff. I no longer feed into that. I'm done with all the online drama, but there's drama on TV. And that's what this world is gravitated towards. It's gravitated towards stuff that's just crazy stuff. True crime, murder, cars crashing, people beating each other up. And it just saddens me where content has gone towards, because it used to not be this way. It used to be all about wholesome family programming, like in the 70s and 80s, and even before that in the 60s, right? You had shows like Leave It to Beaver, Family Ties, Who's the Boss, One Day at a Time, The Jeffersons, Happy Days, Three's Company, right? All that was good stuff. It was good, wholesome content that was funny, and it took effort to make it. It was just well produced, real good stuff, right? Nowadays, people don't have to think. Nowadays, all people do is take other people's stories and make a show out of it. Wives with Knives, right? ABC 2020 is all about true crime stories that were committed by other people. They didn't write a script on that. Maybe they wrote a script on how to produce a show, but they didn't create all that information. That information is something they're presenting someone else's story, right? It's nothing that they've uniquely created. They're just regurgitating a real life story that happened somewhere in the US or sometimes out of the country and reported by local news, and ABC 2020 just puts their own spin on it and packages it up, right? And we all tune in, right? We all tune in because we want to hear the shit show, right? We gravitate towards, hey, what actually happened here? This was a really messed up story, right? But going back to the internet, I think the thing that's hurting us the most about the internet is people are using the internet for their personal connections instead of hanging out with people in person. And I think that's a big problem. Many other people have talked about that. We still need to, human beings still need to be around other humans. Human beings need to be around other humans, not just on the internet. We do not function properly otherwise. And nowadays, many people sit at home and just do the online thing. Let me pull over here and let this woman pass on by. We're at 55 minutes. I made a really good time today. This is good because I want to get back home and not have to feel rushed to get ready for Dawn's doctor's appointment. A lot of people are replacing real world personal connections with internet connections. It's not the same thing. Nothing wrong with meeting people online, but you should either really properly vet those people out and see if they're worthy of meeting in person, or you got to have some in-person real life friends too. A lot of people have been using the internet as a replacement for real life friends. I see that happen to a lot of YouTubers out here. A lot of YouTubers out here, you know, especially the ones that are single, they're creating a lot and they're not going out and doing anything, with the exception of every once in a great while. Every once in a great while, certain creators will go out and do something, but is that good enough? No. No, it's not. What I want to start to focus more on here at the GNA is, and I'm pushing people towards this is not the right way of saying it. I want to start to encourage people is a better word. I want to start to encourage people to focus more time on your real life friendships and relationships. And that's what I've been doing over the last week or two, is I've been focusing a lot more on stuff off of the internet. And I will tell you, it's a rejuvenating feeling. Because I've been doing this for over 6 years, full time. And I got sucked in. And there were times where I was addicted to YouTube. I loved it so much. I felt like if I didn't do a show every single day or do a video every single day, if I missed a day of doing a video or a live stream, I didn't feel complete. And now I'm realizing that what's been making me feel incomplete at times is I'm too focused on the online stuff and not focused enough on the offline stuff. And I had to learn that the hard way. I think we all go through that as a content creator. And only content creators that have been doing this for a while in a similar situation will understand what I'm saying. Let me see here. It's just a nice, beautiful day. It's just a little bit humid. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say about, how the internet's really affecting us nowadays, how the internet, has changed us. How the internet is controlling us. All right? It's affecting us. The last 6 years, maybe almost 7 years now, since I started creating full-time on YouTube, with my personal development content, formerly known as Coach Eli. Now it's all about my organization, the Genuine Networking Association, or GNA for short. I never knew the internet to be such a vile and phony place. I never knew that there were so many people that come out on the internet, especially YouTube, to basically, you know, drain their sorrows away or dwell over their sorrows. It's it's crazy what some people will do on these platforms, or the content they'll support, right? Or some of them will create, some creators will create, right? I never knew this stuff was possible. I was blindsided to all this 6.5, almost 7 years ago when I first started doing this full time. I never knew there were so many vile and crazy and hateful people, or people that are willing to do anything to gain traction, such as, use all your personal information on Facebook and dox your house and, attack you and what you've done in the past and attack anyone you're dating. I never knew. I never knew there were people that took things very far in that aspect. Now, it's one thing to talk about people to a certain extent. The media, the mainstream media has always done it. But the mainstream media always does it a little bit more tastefully. Like, there are people out here that take it way too far. They take it way too far, and they just go, like I said, way too far. The media will push the boundaries at times. The mainstream media will push the boundaries at times, but they never go as far as a lot of people have gone on YouTube when they attack certain people, like I've been attacked. And they do that because it's a shock factor that has an audience that will tune in for it, which is pretty sad, because people that will tune into that shit are really sad and pathetic and miserable fucking people. They are. I also never realized how many miserable fucking people there are in this world. And so I started creating on YouTube full time, because I'm a happy person and I choose to be happy. Have I had unhappy moments? Have I gone through things? Sure. But for the most part, I'm a happy person, right? But I never encountered so much fucking misery or so many fucking miserable people. I've never encountered so many jealous, insecure, and just unstable people, right? Jealous, insecure, and immature grown adults in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond. It has been a hell of an experience, right? And that's why I'm talking about this today, because it's just interesting that the internet has done this to us. The internet has done this to us. If it wasn't for the internet, none of these people would have a place to complain. What would these hateful people do if it wasn't for the internet? Would they complain to the wind? Would they go down to their local police department and complain to them? Some of the dumb shit that people have done, right? Some of the dumb shit that people have done on this platform, they've done it for traction, to get YouTube clicks. Would they actually do the same thing if they weren't on YouTube, or if other people they do this shit to weren't on YouTube? One of the most despicable things any creator can do, which I don't call people that do things like this creators, they're just phonies. One of the craziest things that people can do is go at people in real life in many various ways, which I'm not going to mention all those ways. I'm sure you people can figure it out. But you never want to go real life on people on the internet unless there's clearly something going on. Like, if you're watching a video and a man is beating up his woman or a woman's beating up his man or whatever, and you've seen that live, yeah, then call the cops, for Christ's sake. But there are people that are calling the cops over nothing just because they're jealous over some YouTubers and they want to make their lives miserable and make more content at that YouTuber's expense. And I think those people are fucking pathetic and miserable. And yeah, that's just kind of stuff that you need to ignore. And just understand that when people push the boundaries like that, eventually their day will come one day. One day, eventually, their day will come. But anyways, I gotta get going, folks. I want to thank you all for being here. To remind you all, I've got a special surprise coming here on the GNA 2 Genuine Live Personal Development channel. Again, I've got a special surprise coming here very soon on the GNA 2 Genuine Live Personal Development channel. So make sure you're subscribed with the bell on, because that surprise may be coming sooner than you think. Lots of good things coming. We hope you can join us. With that being said, have a good one, take care, and as always, be good to each other.